All right. I guess some people are already joining in. Welcome, everybody. You're welcome this evening um, to the third year of the LOVEATHON, hosted by Nedum and um, Dima. And they used this to celebrate their anniversary in the last 3 years. So you're welcome. And we hope that this evening we're going to have a robust celebration. And as much as possible, we want you to be here to join the celebration. So, this is greetings from us in Nigeria. We're greeting you from Nigeria. So, as you're coming in, you're welcome. We welcome you. And we would like you to tell us where you're joining us from. And if this is your first time of also joining us in the chat, let's know who you are, where you're joining us from. So my name is Olubosede Adeleke, and I'm hosting this. I'm introducing this program today. All right. So you're welcome once again. This is Lovathon 2025, fourth edition of the Lovathon. So over the last 3 weeks, we have been having this conversation to make our lives better, to make our marriages better. And we continue today, and this is the last edition for this year. And so we would like you to invite your friends, invite your family members, singles, married, come on the show. Let's hear you. And so that you listen today. All right. Who is there in the chat? All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. This is the couples edition, the fourth one in this Lovathon series. And this series is hosted by Dima and Nedum. Like I said at the beginning, it's the wedding anniversary, the 22nd wedding anniversary. And so we have this conversation around the anniversary time so that we can make our lives better. And Lovathon has slowly become um, like you know, like a celebration, like what I would call a convention. So we come together during this time to talk about our marriages, to talk about relationships, and to make our lives better. All right. So before I invite um, our host and hostess in to anchor this program today, I would like to know who is joining there, who you are, where you're joining from once again, and invite your friends to join us. Now, the first week, we looked at the culture of convenience and how self interest is sabotaging marriage. And the second week, we looked at the soul of marriage, challenging the counterculture of self interest. While the third week, which was last week, we looked at the habits for singles. That was a singles edition. And then today, we are going to be rounding up by looking at staying one, upholding unity in a divided world. Staying one. How easy is it to stay one? What do we need to do to stay one, to stay united, to stay together? Because what the world, the noise of the world right now is so loud, wanting marriages to break up, wanting marriages to end just at the snap of a finger. So, how do we stay one? This is the topic that Dima and Nedum are going to look at this evening. This is the conversation we're going to have. You can join the conversation in the chat as you listen. If there's one thing or the other you would like to chip in, join us on the chat. Thank you very much. Now, before I hand over to them, I'd like to also tell you about a program that is very, very important for the young adults to join. If you are a parent on this broadcast, we would love you to register your children from 18 years and above. If you're a young adult yet to marry, you are invited to also join this program. And it's important that you join quickly because this program is going to start on Monday, the 28th. And we want you to join. What is the name, the title of that program? It's Nadem Go De Rush You. Now then go they rush you. It's a personal harmony program for singles. Personal harmony program for singles to prepare you to enter into the world of marriage, to get ready to enter into that world. And for you to get ready to enter into that world of marriage, you need to be personally whole. You need to be personally ready. And so Nadem Goderoshos is for singles from the age of 18. You can register your children. We have, however, noticed that many parents are registering their girl child. Many fathers, many mothers are recommending this program even for their girl children. Where are the men? Where are the young men? Fathers, mothers, register your sons. Encourage the adults to register for this program. It's important because it's for their personal harmony to prepare them. There's so many things, so many noise that the world is blaring into the ears of the young ones nowadays about what marriage is or what marriage is not. And many people are getting it wrong. We want them to get it right from the word go with this program. Now then go they rush you. If you are interested to join this program, you should call right now. It's going to be scrolling on the screen. Call Ifunaya on 080 3555 3839 to be part of this program. It's a program for singles, like I said, from 18 and above. Enroll your children, encourage the adults to enroll. Now, them go the rush you. Personal harmony program for singles. You can see it on the screen, scrolling on the screen. Please do the needful for these ones. Let's prepare them. Let's make sure that they have the foundation that is necessary for them to have a beautiful relationship, a beautiful marriage. You understand? So please enroll the children. And if you do enroll your child, you will receive a guidebook to help you with conversations, even with those children, over the 8 weeks of the program. It's an 8 weeks um, program and it's beautiful. Please enroll those children. Don't let them miss out so that it will even give you peace that you have prepared them enough for the future. Now, there is going to be a special discount if you key in now. It's valid only for the next 72. In fact, it's less than 72 hours. If you key in right now, call the number on your screen to register for Nadem Goderoshi. You understand? All right. Thank you very much for that. So, I'm going to be bringing in Nedum and Dima, my favorite couple of the hour. I love this couple so much. I love what they're doing. So I'm bringing them in, and they're going to be looking at staying one, upholding unity in a divided world. You're welcome, Dima and Nedum. Nice to have you on this program once again. So I'll hand
Yeah,
over.
thank you, Madam Adeleke. A pleasure to have you partnering with us, believing in us and your time. We deeply appreciate that. To my lovely wife, 22 wedding anniversary, and this is the first time in 21 years or 22 years we are celebrating anniversary. Thousands miles away, different continent, different country,
Oh,
different state. And it's just to reflect on today and say, God will bless you. Will bless you for much more than the love you show for us. Will bless you for using us as a tool in the hands of advancing family life, building nations through the structure of empowering families and individuals. So, for all those who are here celebrating with us, we've got a lot of messages online, text, WhatsApp, calls. We are indeed very, very grateful. And to my lovely wife over there, I still love you as I loved you forever and ever. Thank you so much for being a wonderful, great, and amazing partner. I couldn't have imagined having a better life than someone else other than you. So I deeply appreciate the partnership, the love I've experienced, the growth I have emerged to become, the man and the husband you've supported me to be. All to God be the glory. And if there's anybody on earth that has turned my life around in the past 21 years, grammatically, Dinma, you owe that flag. Thank you so much. And so
Thank you.
today is day 4 of the LOVEATHON third edition. And we bless God that today, this year, we're looking at the soul of marriage, challenging the counterculture of self-interest. And today we'll be wrapping up the whole episode with staying one, upholding unity in a divided world. And I was listening to a social media post, not post, or video, and a lady was saying she's filing for divorce because she just feel that she's not knowing who she is. And she said something that surprised me. She said her husband is a very good man, hardworking. He couldn't have any better husband than this man. He has been there supporting, paying bills, doing great and amazing things for the family, and they have 3 children in the past 10 years. But she said she certainly feel that she needed to just have space, do something else outside this man. And people were wondering, does she have a mental problem? Is there a demon, or the people from their village is pursuing her? But this is some of the reality we are facing today, where people feel like, why should I stick on to one person? Why should I stick on to this person that I've built something over the years? I just want to experience something entirely new from somebody else, just for the thrill of it. And so we see that the challenge of being loyal, the challenge of sticking to a partner for a long time till death do us apart, has becoming a thing of the past. It's no longer fashionable some people. And so even when they are staying as one, you begin to say that they are becoming separate, having individual lives, no longer sharing deep and emotional connection. And before you notice it, they just grow apart, file for divorce with no deep apparent reason. Just they want to experience what it looks like to be free again and to be divorced. And so what we are against today is not just about conflict and infidelity. It's also about the distraction, the cultural change, and also the protectionism that we have seen today. And so marriage was never meant to be a cohabitation contract. However, it's a spiritual covenant designed to reflect intimacy, deep emotional safety. So upholding marriage unity in a divided world is more than just the emotional feelings, the interest, the togetherness. It requires intentionality. You must rise every day with effort, with commitment, and with a deep understanding of yourself and each other, your values, your needs, your beliefs, and life priorities. Taking this commitment that I will choose consistently to be with this person. I will go on every way I can to be with this person. I will do all that is required to be with this person. So there should be a constant re-engineering of your commitment towards this person. I love what Catherine said. Said oneness in marriage doesn't mean thinking and feeling the same way about everything. Rather, it has to do with being dedicated to encouraging one another to grow, having reverence for one another's individuality, and coming together into oneness of what? Hearts. And so with what is going around the world, with what the culture and trend is like, do your own thing. You don't care what people say. You don't care what your partner say. Nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you how to love yourself. Nobody can make choices for you. You have to make solely your choice, seeing and feeling just about yourself. And so we have lost the sensitivity that whatever we say, whatever we do, whatever we express affects the person we have chosen to do life with. And so this self-interest is becoming a hindrance to intimacy. And these are some of the current and modern challenges that modern couples face that breaks down and destroys intimacy and oneness in marriage. One of them is external pressure. Because of societal expectations, people think that the marriage they glorify on social media of their neighbor, of their friends, theirs must look, especially if they are looking way up. When I say looking way up, we are talking about those who are more of social status more than them, those who are in corporate world, those who are flying from one country to the other, those who are having an amazing vacation, and you are beginning to think, why are you not experiencing that in your own relationship? And so we begin to see that every other person, the grass is greener over there than even yours. And because of that, you put pressure on yourself on what you lack capacity and ability at that moment to enjoy. Not because you are suffering, not because your partner doesn't love you, but because you are wishing you are experiencing somebody's own experience. And that's one of the stories that happened in a WhatsApp group of our people there. This was during Christmas. Eli waiting for shopping and went to the store, for window shopping, snapped gold watches and banglets and other accessories and posted in the WhatsApp group saying that, wow, this is what just her husband gifted to her this Christmas. And people were hailing her. And people in the WhatsApp group were dying that they wish their husband were like this husband. And the sister to that husband, who has asked money from the brother who didn't give, now chatted him, says, look at what you just bought and how much you spent for your wife, and I'm just asking you for a little token for Christmas, and you said there is no money. And he looked at it and said, I never bought this thing. I never presented any gift. I don't know where you're bringing this news from. That is when the sister noticed that all that paparazzi was a makeup. All that paparazzi was pepper then gang. So how have you been comparing your relationship to another relationship because of what you have perceived to see? The stories, the headlines. And we know from stories these days that some of those things are not as real as they appear. They're not as truthful as they appear. And so you have used that to put pressure on the relationship you are meant to enjoy with the person you have chosen for life. Secondly, is personal struggles, which will also come as a result of stress, anxieties, and past traumas. We are living in a world where traumas of our upbringing is still inhibiting the oneness we have or we can enjoy a marriage relationship. And so some of us were not privileged to grow in, to have an upbringing of where there is peace, there is unity, there's understanding. There's no model of love, commitment, and joy in marriage that will give us the idea that these things are possible. And therefore, we carry that construct into the marriage we exist now and begin to create chaos and division that will not in the first place exist. And so the last one I also want to share is unrealistic expectation. Each of our partner has a limited ability and capacity or trait to meet up all our expectation in marriage. Nobody, no husband, no wife can meet all our expectation in relationship. And so because we have in our mind, having the money of Dangote, the finance of any of this actor, the home of this person. We want to construct an ideal partner in our head, which we compare with the little ability and skill of our partner. So therefore, when they are trying their best, everything they can, everything they could do to become what they are capable to become for us, we are still making an unfair comparison because we have set a high standard that they can't reach at that particular time. Then lastly is the miscommunication. Expecting a desired result without communicating clearly to your partner. What are your needs? We want them to, to guess. We want them to guess. We want them to beginning to look for options that you did not give clue for. We want them to mind read you and guess accurately what you need per time. Of course, that will be extremely difficult. And so, what are the pillars that we need to reinforce? What are the pillars we need to reinforce in order to grow in oneness that we cherish for, to grow togetherness, to grow in deeper intimacy? Number one is unity is intentional and not accidental. And so you don't expect oneness, deep intimacy in marriage to be something that is a random happening or by happen chance. It's something that we create a process, an idea, and a plan and keep implementing it. And so you could look at all your schedule for the year. What are the special times you are going to have dates? What are the special times you are going to have deep emotional conversation? What are the times you need to take yourself out? What are the times you need to appreciate each other? What are the times you need to hold on to so many things that distracts you and just wait to, enjoy great and amazing moments? What are the memories you want to cherish about? And so as we are celebrating our 22nd wedding anniversary, I was just looking at some of our past memories, amazing memories. And I remember vividly that this thing did not happen. It only happened because we planned them. We scheduled them. We made effort in them. We went out. We spoke to each other. We had goals. We had dreams. We had deadlines. We make deep conversation. And so when I reflect at these 22 years, all the things that are more dominant are the memories we create. What you create will not become a memory. What you did not create will not become a happy memory, because life itself is already tough with so many distractions everywhere, right from your home to your office to children upbringing to in-law to parenting, so many things. But what you intentionally do per time will now become something big in the future. The last one is protecting yourself from emotional drift and busyness. Self-preservation is important, and also preserving your marriage is important. No matter what is enticing you, no matter what is trying to drift you apart, understand that the commitment and the vow you make to your partner is eternal. And therefore, it's not emotions that will run it to. Your thinking, your ideas, the practical steps are also very important. While emotion is good, but emotions most times cannot be trusted because your partner is not perfect. They will make mistakes. They will, step on your toes. They will even deliberately go against what you feel and desire per time. But the deep commitment of the agape love, the unconditional love, is something that will push you beyond every struggle, every challenge, every conflict, and turn those things around into a stepping stone of experiencing the deepest intimacy you can ever have with your partner. The last one I want to share on that is prayer. Prayer is very, very important. Because we live in a world where we think that everything can happen on our own desire, we are now downplaying prayer. We are now downplaying what God can do in our lives, helping us when we are helpless, not just because we are challenged, but also because he is our creator. He knows us. He is the one that knows our future, our past, and our present. He is the one through the Holy Spirit can drop inspirations when we are confused on what to do. Is the anchor that we can rely on. Is the foundation and the pillar where our relationship stands. And so giving God the place in your marriage is one of the strong pillars that will hold you stronger as you grow in that relationship. And so here are some of the things I would like you to reflect. Take a moment to ask yourself, what's currently threatening the unity of your marriage? What is currently threatening the unity of your marriage? What is that one small ritual or habit you can introduce today to reconnect daily or weekly? Just write it down. Share it with your partner. Start doing that little by little, small. I will always say, forget the big things. Start with what you are capable of doing now. Yes, you want those big vacations, you want those big gifts, you want those amazing home, you want those out of the world experience. But what is the little one you can start now? What is the little one you can? Is it apologizing? Is it taking out for a date? Is it cooking? Is it presenting? Is it encouragement? Just whatever you can do, start now. Start it small, and progressively the big ones will come. And so I will stop here, and our guests will show up, and we will continue with the conversation. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you so much for that. So I'm sure we have picked a lot of things from what Nedum shared. And maybe before I go ahead, let me also say happy 22nd wedding anniversary to my most favorite person and my partner in bliss, not partner in crime. Oh. And thank you for the journey. Thank you for the growth. And thank you for remaining teachable. You know, I always say that what attracted me to you and made me take this decision to spend the rest of my life with you was the fact that you didn't present yourself as a perfect person, but you were always willing to challenge where you are, to unlearn, to learn, and to relearn. And I can say that 22 years after, that still remains the most admirable traits that I still find in you. So thank you for remaining teachable and doing this journey with me. So let's bring in our guests, because today we're in this world where there is so much busyness, rightly so, division, people trying to keep things to themselves and all of that. But tonight, let's see, how do we in 2025 uphold unity even in a divided world? And so join me to welcome this great couple. They even here wear purple. I mean, they wear orange, the color of optimism, the color of brightness, the color of enthusiasm. So you can already see from the color of their hoodie, you know that we are prepared for something. So this is Opeyemi and Joseph Adesina. So the Adesinals, we are celebrating 22 years today, and coincidentally, today, July 26th, is our wedding anniversary. So tell us whether now we
Oh,
senior
wow.
or seniors, who's senior for this marriage thing?
Ah, we are learning. We are following you closely, so we are learning from your depth of wisdom. You are more than a senior. You are a great mentor ahead of us. So we're following you as
How many
all the
years you don't do so far?
we've just done 4 years now. 4 years.
I say just, you
That's
don't know what 4 years is. You never hear that song. 4 years don't waka. We still they carry
no, when you
go
compare,
body
if you have
waka.
to compare that 4 years to 22 years, that's why I said Just
No,
4 years.
don't worry yourself. We've had a couple here who were celebrating 28 years, 25 years.
Mm.
So we've had people where we senior and people who senior us. And I know in the journey of life, which marriage is, you also learn from people younger than you, maybe some things that you didn't know, some things that escaped. So I'm sure that we're going to be learning from you as well. So welcome, and it's great to have you. So how is the UK weather treating you?
Firstly, we want to say thank you so much. We want to say happy wedding anniversary, Coach Nedum, Coach Dima. Thank you so much. We are glad, to be here. We do not take it for granted. It's a real privilege to be here with everyone. Thank you for what you're doing. One of the things that really motivates us about your family is the investment, I think I've said this to Coach Dima before, that the investment, the commitment you put into this family ministry. Even if there's anyone that doesn't like family before, listening to Coach Nedum, Coach Dima talk, you will definitely want to like family matters. So we are encouraged seeing you ahead of us. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So to the UK weather is just there. We are we are in summer now. The heat is very, very, very hot. I think the last time was about 38 degree. I think it's hotter than Lagos now, but we are coping anyway. We are from Nigeria. They say Nigeria never carry last. So we are coping. We are fine.
All right. Thank you so much for what you shared. And today we're talking about staying one.
Okay.
And I will come to that because we've also seen people. Did you migrate from Nigeria to the UK, or you've always been in the UK, or did you migrate?
Yeah, we migrated from Nigeria to UK about 5 years ago, and we started our marital life here in England. So I was here in England before, so I went back home, we got married, and we came back here. We came back together. So
Okay.
we started our own family life here in England. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a trend of this migration japa thing. When people
Yeah.
now get there, the unity can kukuma destroy. They instead of staying one, they now start dividing. But let me not
Yeah.
put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
So even with you've been 4 years in the marriage, of course you are building your careers, you're raising young children. How do you guide your relationship from the noise and divisiveness that is in the world? There's so much thing that can easily pull a couple apart. If it's not social media, it could be external opinions. I've even seen couples fight because of difference in political affiliations. Somebody say
Hmm.
I'm red, the other is blue, the other is this one. So what have you done in your marriage so far to guide your relationship from the noise outside and from the things that threaten to divide you?
That's a very good question to start with, and I think Coach Nedum, has said some very profound points at the beginning of this conversation. I think we can't rule out the fact that there's a lot of noise going all around. Social media noise, influence from social media, from environment where we find ourselves, and the society can make it a bit, difficult if families are not very intentional. And I think Coach De Doom also talked about the place of intentionality. For our own point of view, one of the things that God has really helped us with in terms of overcoming distraction from social media, external opinions, and all of that is the place of vision. Before we got married, God has really helped us on being very big on the issue of vision. And fortunately, when we enrolled in the marriage counseling, marriage class program with Coach Dima and Nedum, it was one of the important topic that was raised, the issue of family vision as well. So I think having a vision is the first way to be in a position where you will overcome that distraction. And let me quickly say that having a vision does not automatically safeguard us against distraction. However, it puts us in a position to undo distractions effectively. For example, vision, I used to say that vision is a prescriber. It's prescribed to you what to do, how you run your family, how you do things, even when you are in the social media spaces. You don't just, go to social media to consume. You go to social media as a producer. When you go on social media, you are not just swallowing different information, different opinions that you're seeing around you. You are not just taking them in. You have something to filter the information you are seeing on social media through. But in a situation where a family does not have a vision, you don't have the kind of family you want to build, it makes it easy for external opinion to find a fertile ground in the heart of your family. So that vision is always a starting point. And I would also like my wife to also share about how we handle that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Coach DinmaNedum, for the question. So, like we said, one thing that has helped us to prevent division in our marriages, family vision. I would say, like we said, social media, external opinions, political, issues can be like a form of distraction.
Yeah.
They are winds of distraction. And one thing I would say is family vision is just like, when we're building houses, we have windbreaks. So I would say family vision, it's like a windbreak, that helps to shield our family from the winds of distraction. So when we have family vision, it's like a gatekeeper for our home. The family vision is a prescriber for us. It helps us to know, okay, what are those things that can come into our home? What are those things we receive? What are those, just like on social media, when we say, okay, you consume some things, what are those things you receive? The family vision also, it tells us what are those things you can watch on social media. So this family vision is just building like a bubble around your home. You don't allow anything to come in. You guide what comes in, you guide what comes out. Another thing is good communication. I think Coach Nedum also talked about it earlier. When we talk about, preventing division in the home, good communication is very important. When we talk about the part of external opinion can be either verbal or non-verbal. It could be what people are saying around you. Oh, this is what is going on, divorce and everything. Also, it can be an atmosphere, not necessarily what people are saying. It can be the culture around you. It can be the trends going on. So external opinion can be verbal or non-verbal. And what's important is that sometimes you are not receiving these things consciously. Sometimes it settles in your subconscious mind. That's the importance of when couples have good communication. That's one thing we do. So you can't overemphasize the place of, family vision, because our family vision, it still brings us back to communicate. We have a vision that we keep coming back to check. So we communicate. The vision brings us together. There is something to always talk about. So this external opinion, sometimes, like I said earlier, it settles subconsciously. But sometimes, okay, I remembered something. I was watching a particular program of recent, and my husband was just passively listening to the program. So the speaker said something actually that was not right, but I did not really pay much attention to it. I was just receiving what the speaker was saying. But my husband paused. He said, "No, that's not right. Did you remember what we said? Because we had a discussion about that same matter some weeks back." He said, "No, do you remember what we spoke about?" I was like, "Oh, that's true. That you read an article to me that, oh, this is what is going on," just for the sake of confidentiality. That's why I'm not mentioning the names. Okay. So he was like, "No, we read something about that. Oh, that's true." The speaker was not trying to give us, he was not trying to give us wrong information. It could have actually been an oversight. But thank God for the place of communication in marriage. It could have also been something that was actually wrong, that could destroy a home, and you just subconsciously you've picked it. But thank God for the place of communication. And my husband was like, "No, that's wrong. We've discussed about this." And I'm like, "Oh, that's true. It was actually a miscommunication." So that's the place of good communication between spouses, and that's what has actually helped us.
And maybe before we hand over to Coach Tima to continue, when my wife talked about the place of external opinion, I think this is very, very important, because like she said, external opinion can be verbal and non-verbal. For example, in the part of the world where we live, at times you can be at work and you are working with maybe 10 colleagues, and 8 of the colleagues or 9 of them, they are already divorced. Now, and they are talking about their family life from the point of divorce. Now, they are not telling you that you should divorce. They are not telling you that you should stay united. But that atmosphere is depositing something in your subconscious mind that if you are not intentional, you will not know that a negative deposit has been made in your subconscious mind. There was even a time I was working with somebody, and the person said to me, in this part of the world, people who are divorced, people who are separated, the government have a kind of fee they pay, the
Benefits, yeah.
benefits they give to them, maybe child benefits and the like. So this person had been separated, and the person was saying to me, oh, I'm enjoying a lot of benefit from the government. I don't even think of coming back to be united with my partner. And I was like thinking, she calculated how much she make a month. And even you that you are working, doing hard labor, you are not making the money somebody that is separated is making. And if you are not careful, a thought will be dropping your mind that there's money in separation. If there's any misbehavior from your partner, you too, you will be in the line to make more money. So we have to be very, very, very intentional. Unity is not something that happens by default. It is a product of intentional action. Intentional action in the place of guiding the external opinions around you. And the last point we'll share on that question is the place of prayer is very, very, very important. I'm so very much happy when Coach Nedum talked about the place of prayer. We live in a society where people downplay the efficacy of prayer. And sincerely, we are seeing the outcome in the society because people don't give attention to the importance of prayer. What prayer does is it has a way of strengthening family bond. It has a way of casting down external opinions that have settled in your subconscious mind that you are not even aware of. Good communication, what it does is that it's a strategy to detox negative implants in the heart of couples. But when you pray, prayer has a way of casting down those negative thoughts, those negative opinions that you have received either from social media, from friends, from environment. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And somebody in the chat room is saying environment accounts for 50% of what shapes us. Be intentional about your environment. And I like what Joseph said. We're saying that unity is not something that happens by chance. Unity does not happen by default. It is something you create through intentional actions. And what you brought up with the society and people now equating doing life apart with the financial benefits is really critical. And whilst your workplace and all other things, you cannot choose your colleagues. So what I wanted to add here in terms of what can you do to remain united is for people to also be intentional about their social circles. When your head is filled with the different things from the associations that you cannot on your own choose, you now need to choose value-based friendships, places and people. And again, I think it's important for people who live everywhere is busy, but in the Western world, UK, North America, and all of that is like our in Nigeria, 24 hours so they reach us, but it be like say una own be like 18 hours. Everybody is on the rush, and so people even like are literally trying to stay alive and do their that they are downplaying social connections. Intentional social connection is also one thing that can help the couple so that you're spending time feeding your minds with the right words. I also think that couples, in addition to prayers, should imbibe this habit of tuning their minds in that visualization place. If you are able to keep reminding yourself of the big picture, even if things are happening outside of you, maybe have affirmations, maybe have something you say to yourself to remind you that's where your vision is. And the vision is also something we encourage that couples recite proactively, not when we get on day, not when somebody put it on in your head. As a normal ritual for us in our home, we recite our family vision, mission, and core values every day. During prayer time, after we're finished praying, we recite it, we say the verse for the year, and then we close the prayer so that everybody is reminded as you're stepping out, as you're doing this, so this is who you are, this is what you're reminded. So if your mental the whole of your emotions and mental space is soaking this up. Even the
Hmm.
noise from outside, you have something anchoring you that is
Hmm.
reminding you of that. Thank you so much for sharing that. So let's look at this. Have there been times, seasons that you have felt emotionally distant from your partner? You are living in the same roof, or probably you have the same roof, or but has there been a time that you felt like it's like there's a distance? We're not. I don't know if it has happened. I'm asking if it has happened. How did you bridge that gap? How did you thin that emotional distance and come back together?
That's a very, very good and very practical question. And to be sincere, it's something we've experienced. And I think we experienced that. I think that was just about 1.5 years to our marriage, when we've moved down here to England. And, when Coach Dima was talking, the truth of the matter is that the pressure is real in this part of the world. The pressure is very, very real, when you have to do about 12-hour shift for maybe 4 or 5 days in a week. If you are not very intentional, you discover that you will begin to experience disunity in the family. Not intentional disunity, but the system will force that disunity on you. You will begin to know that families are drifting apart. So the pressure is very real in this part of the world, and that's why we're also saying that the place of intentionality is vital to ensuring that unity is sustained in family. So to the question, it happened in about 1.5 years when we got married, and we were both nurses. We work as healthcare workers, nurses, and what happened was that I work in the town where we live, and my wife work in a town outside where we live. So where she works, she has to take about maybe 1.5 bus to get to where she lives. We didn't have a car as at that time, about 1.5 hours to get to where she was working. So we discovered that by the time she leaves the house, maybe by half 5:30 in the morning, maybe after prayer, she leaves the house, let's say 6, she will get to work, leave work, and come back home maybe 9:30 in the evening. And at times, our rota are not always the same. I may be working on Monday, she's working on Tuesday, I'm working on Wednesday, she's working on Thursday, long day shifts, and it's 12 hours shift. And that 12-hour shift is not fixed. If you do 12 hours, you are not counting the hours for you to move to transport down to work. You are not counting the hours for you to come back from work and all of that. So invariably, it's about 14 hours. So we discovered that the in because we could go through a week and only see each other maybe twice in a week. When I say see each other twice a week, just to see and talk, not even to have deep, heartfelt conversation, not to have, it's just to see, oh, babe, how are you? At times you are going to work, she will be telling me, oh, your food is inside the fridge, oh, pick the food when you come back and all of that. By the time I get back home, she had left, and the cycle continued like that. And this is where the place of vision and intentionality comes to play. So immediately we saw that, I said at the beginning that vision gives prescription, it gives instruction, and it gives direction. So when we started witnessing that, it wasn't that long, we discovered that the path this is taking us to is different from the outlined vision that we have for the family. So vision had to retract our step backward. We have to come back and talk. There, we can't continue our life like this. If we are heading in this path, our vision will not be actualized like this. So we had to sit down, and we had a conversation about it. And my wife felt, okay, let's make the decision. She felt, okay, she can move her job, change her job from where she was working to a place where I am working. And got so good that worked out. We live in the same community. We go to work together. We come back from work together. We work in the same hospital. We work in the same unit. So we are leaving home the same time. We're coming back home the same time. And that has really helped. Yeah. But I will not but say that not everybody will be able to change job like that. Exactly. But one thing that is needed is the place of sacrifice. Sacrifice is a constant requirement for every family in the bid to ensure and to sustain unity. So she was able to make the sacrifice, and we felt, okay, that's good. And we make the sacrifice together. We're working in the same place. And that really, really put us back in the track of vision actualization. Yeah, is there anything you want to share about that?
You said it, working together now, it helps to, increase, that family flourishing. We have that connection. Like you said, we come home together, we go together. Even when it comes to childcare, at least we know that, okay, we can work our rotas together. Even sometimes when we can't really work the rotas together, but there is still this time that, okay, we have time together, we can work it out. So it's, you've really said it all. So that sacrifice, compromise, we can't overemphasize that.
Because I have colleagues that, in fact, in this part of the world, people hand over twice. They hand over family handover at bus station, and they hand over at work again. So because they don't have time to sit down. So when we talk about intentionality, I think I've understood the place of intentionality more, very, very clearly with this part of the world where we find ourselves. You just have no choice than to be intentional
and be selfless. Yeah.
and be selfless. Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Let's hear from the 22-year-old man in this business. Have there been times you felt emotionally distant from your spouse? And what did you do to bridge the gap?
Yeah, I think basically that has to do with life transitions, because when you start your marriage, you start with both of you, and before you know it, the kid starts coming. And before it was only your parents, now you have a parent-in-law, you have sisters-in-law, you have an expanded family to care for. This person is sweating, this person gave birth to, this person is having a challenge. So you see, from having 8 siblings, you now have, in quotes, siblings and in-laws that you should show up for, are now 16 for an Africa. Then father plus father and mother, father-in-law, now 20 people. You need to greet, you need to show up for, you need to wish happy birthday, you need to ask what's going on in their life so that you can have a level of inclusivity. That's a lot of pressure. And so having tried to align everybody for oneness and togetherness can become a kind of so much on you and your partner, because people are also looking up to you. And so for my case, I'm the first child of my parents, and with that, having to expand and being the first person to get married, the other ones that are not married don't understand this scoop. So the initial attention, they are still expecting to that degree and to that involvement, without realizing that you are now you have now a nuclear family, not the original nuclear family. So you also try to find a balance in between, and it could be so demanding. And so trying to also create that unity without that division will now beginning to make you also think there's so much for you to do. There's so much modeling for you to do. There's so much togetherness for you to build. And there's so much expectation. And so for me, what really needs to happen is to reset your priorities. What was originally your priorities before marriage can no longer be your priorities after marriage. So it's not about how they feel. It's about the reality. Because closeness has to be redefined. Closeness has to be redefined. A new person has to take the place he has to take in your life. Your close brother, so close brother, who can come into your bedroom, sleep on your bed, may no longer come to there. Your sister, who always comes, goes to the kitchen, take as much as she can, now has to ask for permission to. Youngly, if you are not married, you will not understand until you get married to understand that there is a different scenario in order to. And so having to over explain and calm down and not use tension to normalize any behavior that would threaten your nuclear family is very, very important. And so for me, it's standing on your ground, saying what it is. When they get married, they will now understand. So now it's not about how to feel. It's about what ought to be done. And being man enough to do that, I think, is for me the way out when when I was in such a situation.
Wow. Thank you. We can hear you, ma. Coach Dima. We can.
So fantastic, great points raised here. Work pressure from the additionals. It's beautiful that you could change jobs, but I like how you also pointed out not everybody can do that. And that's where the place of sacrifice and compromise is. You know, Neduma and I were speaking, I think last week, Monday, at a church, and we're talking conversation around family systems, how to raise your children and all that. And a man stood up and said, oh, I have this, I do this, I do this, there's no time. And interestingly, that speaking engagement, it just happened by coincidence that we went as a family. All right, so I was there, Nidum was there, the main speaker, and two of our children were there. So Nejun was like, I've spoken to this community a number of times, but for some reason, my wife and my children are here, so he's going to invite them up and say, this man, talk your talk, leave me where I sit." So our son,
And she did not come up. Oh, she did not come up. The rest came up. She still start where she
I didn't want attention. Now we can't church. Minister, your minister, leave me. Aga, when they invite you to church, you and your wife don't invite. They invited me to Mount Pulpit. The other person go sit down for congregation. No be so.
That's so.
Yes, our son was sitting there. He now used style. When it was time for Q&A, he invited me, called my name specifically. I had to be there. So when the man asked the question, our son was sitting there. My son now said, you make a time for what you value. I'm like, okay, do you want the microphone? So literally, everybody has 24 hours. Nobody that does anything that they do has 24.5. So it's what you cherish, what matters to you. Shebi is where the treasures are. That's where your heart will be. So even in the busyness, I tell people there are times we're having meetings and having our review sessions in the night, 10 p.m. because we had attended to work of the day. So you sacrifice some pleasures, if I'm going to put it that way. You put some things aside because you know this is important. So that's one I want to let people know. Your family, the time you create for family is not what you do after you have done every other thing. Your family time should be part of your to-do list. Because everything said and done, if our family is the greatest treasure, and all that we say we are working for, whether it's the work to get the money, whatever, maybe you are bringing it so that you can give your family a good life. Yet you are not for the family. Is that not paradoxical? Just yourself for the people you say you love. Yet the people you say you love do not know you. They don't see you, and then you are laboring for them. So let's think about that. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. For me, the time I feel emotionally distant is also work related. Maybe we have major projects we're running that is consuming time. And so, because of the time needed, like this last week before my trip, was mega emotional distance because I had to put some things in place. I was not sleeping early, so I don't even get time for man. I don't even get time to look anybody face because there was deadline, things that had to be met. So those are moments where I feel emotionally distant. If we have um, deadlines to meet and schedules that are wrapped up within a short time frame. So you're only human, you're struggling to finish this, you're struggling to do this, this is grabbing your attention. But what I do in that moment is recognized as this is for a time. So it's not something that is going to last long. And sometimes I was telling my husband, don't worry, when I come back, we will escape, we will do whatever. But you know now. So I just reframe it in my mind that it's not just because we are ignoring ourselves, it's not because we don't want to attend to ourselves, it is because right now there is something before us that needs attention. When we clear that up, we will still reconnect. And what that also does for me is the moments when we don't have too much pressure and we are doing our normal, keeping faithful to our Thursdays, doing everything, I kind of cherish it and that's, I savor it because it's like I'm storing deposits in my
An investment.
right moment. So somebody will say, Adima, I just saw you finish teaching a class. I just saw you finish. Now again, you are playing. How do you do this thing? I say, I'm present in every moment. Once it's time to work, I show up fully. You think I don't have any life apart from this work. When it's time to play, I play like there's nothing concerning me and work. So that mindfulness to enjoy each moment and soak up all of the positivity from each moment is very important, so that when those kind of opportunities are not there, you already have a reservoir and then you can bounce back later. Okay. Let's go deeper into this unity. Remember, our listeners, our topic is staying one. All right. Upholding unity in a divided world. So let's look at unity and disagreement, unity and conflict. What's the perspective that couples should have? Because for me, um, I always say to people, don't avoid conflicts. Don't pretend that there are no disagreements. If they are, address them, because I see conflicts. I have a mindset that conflict is an opportunity to deepen
Yeah, yeah.
unity. I don't see conflict from face value as something that comes to divide a couple. It's an opportunity for you to get more united. Because when we discuss our conflicts, I understand you better. I understand your
Yeah.
perspective better. So we can now build a common agreement. So, with that in mind, I ask people, when you're resolving conflict, are you interested in winning the fight? Or are you interested in winning your marriage? The two perspectives bring a different thing to the game. So for you, the additionals, when disagreements happen in your relationship, what mindset do you hold that helps you choose unity over needing to be right? Or some people go argue, make them be that they don't win the argument, even when they know that destroying their marriage is belittling their partner. But let me win argument first. After that, we massage your ego. So your marriage, additional, you want to win to finish, or how do you fight your fight? That helps you to choose unity over needing to be right.
Wow, that's also a very good question, because disagreement, you can't. We personally we believe that you can't control when disagreement will happen, how it will happen, but you can always control how you respond to it. And running away from disagreement or conflict could be an hidden sign of low emotional intelligence. It could be a sign of, an emotional issue that you are trying to cover up, you don't want to address. So we see, like Coach Dima rightly said, that conflict. We believe also that conflict is a strategy for self-revelation. It helps you to know yourself. There are so many things you will never know about yourself, or about your partner, or even about marriage itself, until you receive the confidence, the boldness, the wisdom to respond to conflict. So, and for us, the mindset, as you asked, that has really helped us in managing issue of conflict, addressing issue, is what we call the kingdom oriented mindset. Now, the kingdom oriented mindset is a mindset that, like I've said, it helps us to see conflict as an opportunity to grow. So when it comes up, we are not first seeing the partner or the cause of the conflict. We are seeing an opportunity to grow. And it takes a lot of emotional intelligence to see that. Because when conflict happens, the two first things you will see is how your partner is not reasonable, or is not seeing things from your point of view, or you are seeing the problem itself. So kingdom oriented mindset has helped us to see that, okay, this is an opportunity, even though in the face of the disagreement, in the face of, we are still trying to sort things out, at the back of our mind, number one, we understand that this is an opportunity to grow, and that affects our disposition to that issue, how we respond to it. Another thing about the kingdom oriented mindset that has really been helping us is the fact that before we want to take on my wife on the issue, okay, this issue, why are you seeing it like this? Why is this and all of that? we want to listen to what God has to say about that issue. Because if we don't listen to what God has to say over that matter, instead of responding, I will be reacting to my wife over that issue. But when I listen to what God has to say over that issue, it could be disagreement about money, it could be disagreement about in-law, it could be disagreement about childcare, any form of disagreement. I want to pay attention. I want to listen to what God has to say. Now, listen to what God has to say over that disagreement. It helped me to see where I may be wrong. And it helps me with the maturity to come out of that experience with God, to come and apologize if I've done something wrong, even if when I think, oh, I'm right, it still helped me to address the issue with a sense of humility. And it also helped me to, in situation whereby maybe my wife is saying things from another perspective that I think maybe is not the right, in line with the family vision. The kingdom perspective, kingdom-oriented mindset helped me with the wisdom to know how to explain myself and communicate the issue to myself in a way that she will see me as not being selfish. She will see me as putting the family vision first and not about myself. So having a kingdom-oriented mindset has really helped us. We approach every misunderstanding as an opportunity to grow. We listen to what God has to say over that issue. When we're wrong, we do not, hold back from apologizing to one another, and that's why I said it takes a lot of emotional intelligence to do that, and it also helps us to see that, oh, I'm not just apologizing. I'm not just saying, no, I'm wrong. There are times that maybe my partner, my wife, may not be seeing it the way I want her to see, but God will give me the wisdom to be able to communicate it. I believe everything still goes back to vision and communication and being intentional. So I'm able to communicate that to her, and she'll be able to, to undo it more in a matured way.
Yeah, another mindset that we put in place is speak instead of sulking. One thing we do is that, when there is a problem, most especially for women, we like to sulk, like, I don't want to talk. But, just like you said, emotional intelligence, there's something, this is what we keep reminding ourselves in our home, is one of our values, to be emotionally intelligent. Instead of sulking, you speak. It's not a mind reader, so it can't read my mind. So if something is going on, speak up. Oh, this, what you've done, I'm not happy with it. This issue did not make me happy. You did this, you did that. So when we speak, another thing is, another value that we hold in high esteem here is, honor all men. The Bible says honor all men. So when there is honor in place, even in my conversation, that, okay, this is what you have done, that place of honor is very important. I don't speak rashly to him. Oh, this is what you have done. Speaking anyhow, no. With wisdom and, having that, value of honor, I speak to you, okay, this is what you have done. And also, when we have that value of honor, there's a way we are selfless. It's not the issue about I want to be the one who wins this argument. It's about, okay, this is what is going on. How can we solve it? It's not about I want to be the one who is right. It's about how can we solve this matter. So the mindset that, it still all boils down to having the kingdom mindset, which is the biblical mindset, the place of, speaking up when you need to, and also speaking in wisdom, and also the place of honor when I'm communicating what I want to say, or whatever is in my mind. I have that mindset of, honor, and it helps me to be selfless. That, okay, I'm not trying to win this argument, but okay, how can we make this thing work? Okay, I'm also being considerate of the other person. Okay, if I'm just about myself, it's all about me. It has to be me. I have to win this argument. I'm the victim here. No, it's about being selfless. When we have that value of esteeming others above yourself, when there is an issue, I'm not just thinking about myself, but how do we want this marriage to work? So those are the mindset that, help us during disagreement. The kingdom mindset, honor, speaking and not sulking, and being selfless. Yeah.
I like when you say speaking with wisdom, because you can speak up and scatter everywhere. So it's important to speak with wisdom.
Exactly.
Yeah, because speaking without wisdom will complicate the whole matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Let me hand over to Mr. Nedum. How do you handle disagreements and maintain unity rather than seeking to be right?
Thank you, Tim Adesina. Wonderful conversation, wonderful solution.
Thank you, sir.
Just to add to what they have said, is for me is knowing when to stop the conversation, knowing when to stop, knowing when to let the conversation go, even when you don't arrive to either a common ground, common solution, or you are not seeing eye to eye on the issue. When the tension is getting higher, when the emotions are going haywire, have that signal to say, do you know what? We may not likely going to continue this conversation. And it is okay, which means it can be revisited, or time we make it go away, or tomorrow you might not realize a better way out of that issue. Maybe you are arguing from ignorance or from pride or arrogance. You know, in reflecting moments, you can now like revisit that episode and say, okay, I think I went too far. But that tricky moments where the conversation is going the other way, can you have an indication that say enough for now? Because there's that temptation to say all, argue all, win it. But once you notice that, let it end for now. So that is very important. And then the other one is that respectfully disagreeing also means that the opinion of your partner counts. You know, it counts and it makes meaning, even when it is out of experience, even when it's out of your area of interest and skill and knowledge. Their opinion matters, because at that moment, maybe how they are feeling,
Yeah.
how their emotions are speaking to them. And so there may not be a statistics backing it. There may not be a research backing it. There may not be a theory backing it. And if it is your area of professionalism, you have all the facts, all the figures. That also their opinion and listening to them matters. And that's where I call respectfully disagreeing. And so hear them, because inside you is saying, oh, I don't believe this person can say this. Oh, he's dark in this area. You know, as you are speaking, the other part of you is responding and countering, even when you are not saying it. So know that it's not a fight, it's not WrestleMania. And at the end, of you will be fine together. So that's just my addition.
All right, thank you so much. So many insights. I like the everything. Speak up, not sulk. Honor all men, be selfless, disagree with respect, and of course recognize that your partner's feelings are valid. They are not necessarily the facts, but they are valid. Amazing. So what I will also is just you've said what everything I have in mind. When Nedun was saying something about know when to end, to stop the conversation, in my brain I said, let me put something there. The halting the conversation should be mutually agreed, though, not when you are feeling flooded and the other partner is still
You want
talking.
to cry.
You're like, you can't have this conversation. I always say to people, if you want to halt a conversation, like invite your partner, like state, like right now, I don't think I'm processing. Take responsibility. Don't put it. Don't say right now you're not speaking what is making sense. So, because that you know, heighten everything. So take responsibility. Why do you want to halt the conversation? Maybe you feel like with what is happening, you are not able to speak, you are not able to articulate it, you need more information. Don't halt the conversation by pointing fingers at your partner. We can't continue this conversation because I see you are not making sense now. Yeah, the way you are shouting. The person who simply want to have the conversation. Halt the conversation, but let it be you taking responsibility and also letting your partner know that you want to take a time off. Even if they don't agree, it's more respectful than when you are accusatory. Thank you so much. Let's move to another question. Staying one, upholding unity in a divided world. So So we've been talking about vision, vision, vision. Let's talk a little bit more about the habits. Yes, it's one thing to have a vision, the vision giving direction, the vision giving instruction, and all of that. But imagine someone is listening to us, a couple, whether living in a very busy world, whether just starting a family, whether whatever stage they might be in, whether even us that our children are now in college and that's another dimension of responsibilities and all of that. What habits do you do to reconnect daily, especially when life feels chaotic or when you are feeling emotionally dry? Can somebody want to adopt your habits and say, this is something that might work for us? What are some of the habits that you adopt in your home that helps you to stay united in the midst of chaos?
Thank you as well for that question. The truth of the matter is that life at times can really, really be chaotic, or you can feel emotionally drained. Most especially if you are doing some types of job and you stay away from home for a longer hours. There are times you can easily feel emotionally drained, or life can be very chaotic. However, having said that, we believe that life prevention is always better than cure. It's always very good to design a system and a structure in your family, in our family, every one of us listen to us, to ensure that we are not waiting until when life becomes chaotic or when we become emotionally dry. Because at that time, like I said, prevention is better than cure. That's even if there is cure, because at times there's no cure. For example, as a health practitioner, there are some conditions there's no cure. So if you want to wait till your family get to the level of cure, it might be too late. And that's why we see some families ending up with divorce, disunity, and all of that. So one of the habits, as Coach NedumNedum has asked us, is one of the habits we practice, we design a structure at the foundation of our family. And fortunately enough, when we join, the family coaching class of Coach Dima and do start a marriage right. For everyone listening to us, if you have not been part of that class, please, I'm encouraging you. Please, 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 after this program, join the class, enroll in it. You see, I'm not saying this as a way of advertising it. I'm saying this because it is full of content. This is something personally we've passed through as a family, and I can tell you that of a true, if you pass through it, it's going to give you evidence-based knowledge on how to build system and structure for building, a family that can stay united even in an ununited world. So back to the question, we one of the things structures we've put in place is a structure of vacation. We always ensure that there are specific time where we go for vacation. It's not maybe, oh, you will think about, oh, maybe we should go for vacation. No, there are structured times you have to go for vacation. Either there is emotional dryness or you just have to go. Because one of the things we have discovered is that with vacation, you never know what you are missing emotionally, spiritually, until you get to the field of vacation. You begin to have
Wow.
conversation, you begin to stay away from work. That is when you feel like, I remember a vacation we went to at the time. We got there, and at the time when we were back coming home, we feel like, we shouldn't go back to this work. If we had our way, we go back to work. But you see, we just have to work to keep life moving. But there is a structure for it. You just have to go. Don't wait. And it's one of the things we have also learned from this part of the world. People book vacation 2 years ahead of time. It's not something you say, okay, let's book next week. People, so it talks about the place of intentionality. Have a structure. We go for vacation. We also, there's one structure that has really, really been very helpful for us, and it's the structure of having a family retreat. This is very, very, very helpful. Since the foundation of our marriage, we have been having that, and it's been helping us. And having seen the advantage of those things, there are things we can't say we want to give up now. We know going back about it. We want to keep doing it. So, and vacation, let me really say this about vacation so that people will not think, oh, you have to have a lot of money to go on vacation. No, I think Coach Nedum also said something related to that. You know, you don't need a whole lot of money. You know, you just have to just make the plan, just go. Just some vacation might not be filled with activities. It will just be a time to stay away from work, stay away from home, have conversation, relax, refresh your mind, take in fresh air, come back energized. You know, have quality time together as family. So that's help us. And I think I would allow my wife to talk about the aspect of retreat better. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Just like you said, we value family retreat. It's something we do. We ensure that we set our annual leaves. You know, we do it every 3 months. And one thing our family retreat does first is that it looks into our physical life, our emotional life, and also our spiritual life. Like we know the spiritual controls the physical, so we don't joke with that. And one beautiful thing about family retreat, which also includes a time for vacation in India, is that it helps us to have self-assessment. You know, when we assess ourselves, it makes us to be self-aware. When we are self-aware, it helps us to manage ourselves better, and it makes us to be productive as a family. You know, maybe one thing we do is that during our birthdays and anniversary, we go out and we tend to assess ourselves. Are you enjoying this marriage? Like, tell me, is there anything I'm doing you're not happy with in this marriage? It helps you to be, vulnerable. Your partner is ready to listen. That's one of the things we do to reconnect. Okay, are you enjoying this marriage? Nobody's going to be on the defensive. Oh, okay, I'm going to defend myself. Whatever you say, no. Everybody is okay. Anything you say, I'm going to receive. I know one thing about this period of family vacation is that it helps everybody to be relaxed. You're not thinking of I'm going to work and you're let us just do quick. Say whatever you want to say because tomorrow I'm going to work. No, we have the full, we have the whole day. So let's talk. So nobody is rushing. So it helps everyone. We're losing our guard, and it helps everyone to be able to talk. We have questions we ask ourselves to assess ourselves. How are you doing? Okay, based on your own personal development, because that's one thing that as well that causes division. When one of the spouses feel like I'm not growing, I'm not developing myself personally. I feel like some people feel like, oh, before marriage, I'm this person that, oh, I'm this self-made girl. I'm very independent. But when I came into marriage, it's like maybe my own vision have died. No. So this time of, family vacation, it helps us to access ourselves, even as an individual. Yeah. Oh, babe, personally, are you growing? When it comes to your own career, are you growing? When it comes to your own, your spiritual life, are you growing? So all this helps us to to ask questions that makes us to be self-aware about the family. Are you it even helps to discuss about sex life? Are you enjoying the sex? About children, about everything, all because you're having family vacation where our gut is all losing. We feel relaxed. So that's one thing we do, family vacation, which helps us to be to have self-assessment, and it makes us to be self-aware. We're able to manage ourselves, and it makes us to be more, more productive. And one thing is that the unity does not happen overnight. It's something that happens over time. It's not that, oh, they got disunited just overnight. No, something has been occurring. There has been a crack, a little crack that you did not pay attention to, and before you know it, everything split up. So it's all about intentionality. Everybody might be like, oh, we've been saying intentionality. It's all about intentionality, because we're in a busy world. The world is busy. There are a lot of things, but when we are intentional, it helps us to be able to pay attention to these things. And like my husband said earlier, family vacations start from where you are. If you are in Nigeria, so people feel like, oh, when we talk about family vacation, it has to be that we travel to Paris. It's not necessarily Paris. It can be in that same country you are, in that same state.
You can go to Olumoro.
In that same state you are. You don't have to break the bank to do family vacation. Start with the little you have. It might be just having like a nice dinner. We have planned it. We're just going to go out to eat, and everybody can talk. The mom, the dad, the children. Let's have a nice time. So don't actually have that mindset of, oh, it has to be Paris or New York. No. It can be in the country you are, the same state you are. It's not necessarily it has to be maybe a month vacation. It can be a day, and it's very wonderful, and everybody is involved and everybody's happy. So we can't overemphasize that place of family retreat and family vacation. It has really helped us a lot.
Mr. Nedum, see the Jaye couple now. It is say you there. You have I say let it not be DinmaNedum. Say you should go you should go and look.
Go now, Coach Dima. I used to see you used to go for vacation. I used to see your status very well.
So we don't senior people wey like jaye pastors. My brother
Don't
was
worry,
telling
when
I
we
just
go to Nigeria, we'll come and go on
I was
vacation. We'll
telling
go to
somebody
vacation.
the other day that for try, even if it is once a year,
Yes,
once in 6 months, once in 3 months, leave your home. Go, even if it's a hotel down the same street.
yes,
There is
yes.
something that stepping out of your normal routine and going
Very
to
true.
a cozy
Very
place
true.
as a couple does to your intimacy.
Yes,
It
yes.
is it just has to be experienced. So I was happy listening to you. You know, usually our wedding anniversary, we take couples out on a weekend getaway. And we have done that since 2009. And so
Wow.
they always talk about how coming for that retreat revive. In fact, we didn't start with the intention to create the retreat. We
Mm.
just 2009, we were like, oh, we have stood as witnesses for a couple of about 6 couples then when they were getting married. Let's invite all of them together and just check in with them, what's going on in their marriage, and then share our own experiences. We invited 6 of them. They spent the weekend with us in our home, not even resort. By the time they went back home, this changed the things they learned. Their neighbors were saying, your life has changed since this. What happened? They say, our marriage mentor, we do weekend with them. Oh, people now started requesting that they want to come and do the weekend. And so our home could not now take any. That's how the getaway was created. We did not sit and say we're starting getaway this year. That experience started the annual getaway, and it has always been. In fact, we didn't have one this year. They've been calling me, are we not doing getaway this year? I say we are stressed. Attend to ourselves. We'll resume getaway next year. So I
Yeah.
see people sharing that experience because we also believe that every couple should date themselves, even if once a month, do something higher, even if it's once in 6 months, and once in a year, plan a romantic getaway. Your marriage will never be the same.
Yes.
They don't, aside from because if I leave you to talk about romance and getaway now, we'll not go end. Have other habits that you want to add to the conversation.
I think I was so impressed with what the Madeshna was saying. They went into my mind, got every script, every word, and they were just dishing out. So by the time I finished, I was like, what else should I even say? They've just done so well in their presentation on that. And I think I just want to add something that you can even do vacation in your house. Tell your colleagues you are not at home. Tell your neighbors you are not at home. Off your phone. Tell the church people no speaking engagement. They say, are you traveling? I am on vacation. All the people that would call you, I am not around. Because sometimes when we make it about the money, some people begin to think, where will I get the money? Where will I go and pay for it? Just shut down everybody that will look for you, even including your parents. You are not around. Are you people? You are on vacation. So you can even have that moment alone for yourself. Buy foods, don't need to cook, buy foods ahead, store it or cook ahead so that you can actually have that. Watching a movie from beginning of the morning to night is a kind of vacation. So let's just help people to simplify it that if it's stressing your pulse out, turn your home into a mini vacation. Let avoid of every form of distraction and just sleep, wake, chat, sleep, wake, eat, watch movie, play music. It's still something. So just want to encourage everyone, start something. Just start little. Just start little. Those significant, tiny little steps will eventually make a lot in the future. Thank you so much, Adesina. I'm so impressed. 4 years, you are already doing amazingly. Wow. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And unfortunately, we've spent a whole of the time. It's been a great conversation. When you're talking about things that really matter, time just flies. So I'm handing over back to our moderator, Madam Olubosede Adeleke, to do the wrap up, and of course, the vote of thanks to our guest speakers and any other announcements we have for titonight.
All right. Thank you very much. You mean this conversation is over? My notebook, oh, even after 32 years of marriage, my notebook is full
That's
with
it. That's
so much
it. That's great.
experiences
That's great.
coming on this program tonight. Thank you to Coach Dimma and Ledum. And thank you to the additionals for coming up
Thank you.
and telling us so much. One would think 4 years, how long is that to have so much experience? But I thank God because your foundation was solidly laid by having
Mm,
a premarital conversation with
mm,
Coach Dinma and
mm,
Nedu, and that has
mm,
greatly helped you
mm,
even where you are. I'm so happy with all that. I've written so many things. In fact, my notebook is full. I'm telling you, upholding unity in a divided world. And we started this conversation from the fact that intentionality, it is, you
Mm.
have to be intentional with the results you want to get. If you are not intentional, you will not get the results. Thank
mm,
you very much for talking to us also about vision. Vision is impossible for us, even as couples, as families coming together and chatting a path forward.
mm,
And then in
mm,
wrapping up, you talk to us about the things you do to uphold your vision, to uphold your marriage in this world where everything is telling us scatter, scatter, scatter. So
mm,
we
mm,
intentional to go for vacations. In this part of the
mm,
world, in Nigeria, vacation is what many of us don't even plan for. Sometimes
mm,
vacation happens, many times it doesn't because we don't plan for it. So the
mm,
long and short of it, if you want to maintain unity in this world of division, you've got to plan for it. You've got to prepare
mm,
for it. You've got to have
mm.
conversations about it. Thank you so, so very much. The
Mm.
additional, team additional, thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much, man.
And
Thank
we
you
Thank
for
pray
you.
that
having
Thank you
us.
for having us.
this,
Thank you.
Thank
this,
you,
this
Kodima.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Coach
Coach
Dima. Thank you,
Ledum.
Coach Dedum. Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
having us.
Thank you,
Thank you,
man. Coach
Mrs. Olubosade.
Olubose de Adeleke. Thank you so much. God bless
you're
you.
welcome. So we pray that this unity will continue to wax stronger. And in many
Amen.
more years
Amen.
to come, you have many more
Amen.
things even to share
Amen.
with the next
Amen.
generation. Thank you so
Amen.
very much.
Amen.
So, to
Amen.
everyone watching us, thank you for joining this conversation. Thank you for being here with us. We appreciate your time that you have put in to be here with us. And we pray that everything you have heard here tonight, as you begin to put it into use in your marriages, it will become better and better. And you will begin to eat the fruit of this conversation tonight. And in wrapping up, I'd like to remind you about the Nadem Gode Roshos program. It's starting on Monday, this very Monday on the 28th. You are invited to that program if you're single, even not necessarily because you're single and searching, but if you're single, you are invited to that program. Nadem Gode Roshos. It's a personal harmony program. You personally become whole within yourself before you prepare to take on another person and become in partnership even with them. So please register for this program. Register your children 18-year-old and above for this program. Daddies, mommies, register your sons for this program. This is not a program for females alone. It's not a program for the girl child alone. It's a program for both male and female to prepare them to be whole even before they go forward into their relationship. So it will be scrolling on the screen as we wrap up, the details of who to call, and you'll be intimated with the cost, the timing, and everything for that program. So we want to say thank you for being on this program with us. And we ask that all that we have learned here tonight will help us to have a united front, a united, and will help us to uphold a unity even in our relationships going forward. So, from Nigeria to you, wherever you're joining us from, Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening. Thank you also to Coach Dima and Nedum, and happy wedding anniversary once again. God bless you all. Good night. Coach Dima.